Hello everyone and welcome to another News Coolum video and another plug side chat. So Clean Technica just released a story where they claim to have a scoop that GM is planning to work with Tesla to build a pickup truck. I'll put a link to the story, but just a quick note before I dive into this. Zach Shaheen really needs to work on his framing, and there's a lot of bias that comes out in his articles that I don't think is very becoming of a journalist. One of the comments he made was about GM swallowing their pride, and really, if you're going to make a criticism of a company, you need to make sure that it's fact based. And if any company is above criticism for partnering, it would be GM. They've proven over the last few decades, really, that they've been really good business partners. They've partnered with Honda on numerous occasions. They're currently building a hydrogen fuel cell factory in collaboration with Honda right now. The factory that Tesla is building their vehicles in Fremont, the NUMMI plant, was a collaboration between GM and Toyota. They've proven time and time again that they're very good business partners and they're very capable of collaboration and working together. To segue into this topic, I think that this would be a win, 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 win. There's so much winning going on. They're going to be tired of winning if GM teams up with Tesla in order to build an electric pickup truck. Because right now, GM, if they were to do it on their own with their current sort of scaling and transitioning towards electric vehicles, it probably would take them the better part of a decade to actually have electric trucks on the road and in customers' hands. However, a collaboration with Tesla, you could see a GM, fully electric GM pickup truck on the road before Rivian can release theirs. And Rivian, if they can meet their timelines, claims about 2 years. I don't think it would be outside the possibility to see a fully electric GM pickup truck within 2 years. That's about how long it took from Tesla and Toyota, the handshake agreement to create a RAV4 EV, until that RAV4 EV was actually on the road in customers' hands. 24 months, basically. So if GM were to collaborate with Tesla, and we don't really know much, this is completely unsubstantiated, completely uncorroborated that I know, but it makes sense on so many levels. And the reasoning behind that is Tesla can provide a solution out of the box that no one else can provide right now. And GM doesn't have the manufacturing capacity to do this. I've mentioned this in a video before, but of the automakers, only two of them really have that much proven experience with induction motors. It's GM and Tesla. And two things about that: in my opinion, induction motors are absolutely crucial for EV pickups. And GM, unfortunately, for whatever reason, they sort of separated themselves from all the resources that they had that were creating induction motors. When they made their hybrid Tahoe, they were working with Remy, and I really don't know what's happened to Remy since then. And I would need to go and search who absorbed them and what they're doing now. But suffice to say, GM no longer has ready access to a manufacturer of those high torque, high power density induction motors that you would need for a pickup truck. Like I said, I think it's absolutely crucial because it's what would allow a truck or an electric vehicle specifically to have towing. I think one of the reasons you see so many electric vehicles not rated for towing is because most automakers are using permanent magnet motors, and you have that torque ripple effect. It's really hard to program a permanent magnet motor to allow for towing Whereas an induction motor is a slip motor, it works perfectly well. High torque applications. It's why the Model S and the Model X are allowed to tow, right? It's why they're capable of it. It's because they have those motors. And so if GM were to collaborate with Tesla, what they should be looking to do is get a permanent magnet motor, front motor, induction motor, rear motor, at least as powerful as what's in the Model S and X right now, and the battery pack to support it. If I were GM, yes, I would try to see if I could secure 2170 cells, but the truth of the matter is 18650 cells would also work adequately. The reason I say 2170 is because of the additional energy density and the additional charging capacity. From the looks of it, the Model 3's 2170 cells can charge at least a 2C rating. And if you were going to make a truck with, say, a 100 kilowatt hour battery pack, which I think would be reasonable for a full-size truck, at least initially, then you're looking at a vehicle that should be able to charge at close to 200 kilowatts. So I think that would be something that would be interesting to truck owners. Now, there are two ways to look at this. GM has a lot of cash, so they're going to be able to buy into these packages, right? If Tesla is willing to come to a business agreement, they could make a lot of money just being a third-party seller of these parts, because really all GM is going to need from them is the motors, the controllers, and the battery packs, because they wouldn't be able to manufacture those in-house. But if I were Tesla, I would push back a little bit and make this less about a money-making venture. And the reason I say that is right now Tesla has their irons in so many fires. They have the Model Y, they have the Semi, they have the Model 3, the Model S, the Model X. They're supposed to be coming up with a pickup. But like I said, this collaboration could get a GM pickup on the road in 2 years. It could do the same for Tesla if they went in saying, look, we're going to cut you a deal on these drivetrains, these batteries, if we work together on the truck chassis, so that when it comes time to actually start producing these vehicles, Tesla would also have access to a truck chassis that then they would be able to leverage however they wanted for their vehicles, right? So we would see probably 2 or 3 different variants of these electric trucks, especially if they went in saying, look, let's come up with a half-ton truck chassis that will allow you to bolt up 100 to 120 kilowatt hour battery pack, maybe 150 kilowatt hour battery pack at the upper end of it, 200, 300 kilowatt rear induction motor, 150 to 200 kilowatt front, switch reluctance motor or permanent magnet motor. And from there, we know everything works together. The rest of it's just in the packaging and the implementation at that point. And then of course, Tesla would have their standard charging and GM would more than likely opt for CCS. So I think this is an amazing partnership if it can happen. And I think we need to say publicly, yes, make this happen. Tesla seems to respond very well to their customer base, and believe it or not, GM does as well. So if GM sees a lot of buzz in response to this as a potential partnership, I can guarantee you that they will pursue it. And no, Zach Shaheen, this isn't a matter of GM's pride. They do right by their customers quite often, especially when people request for things like this. And if this means that we can see a few variants of a full-size half-ton pickup truck, fully electric on the road in the next 2 to 3 years, I think we should all be supporting this. And it would be nice to see a strong collaboration between Tesla and GM. GM's PR in the EV community is really terrible right now. Partnering with a company like Tesla, I think would do a lot to assuage that. And, I think the fact that you're putting a Chevy or a GMC badge on an electric pickup truck would get a lot more traditional truck guys into an electric pickup truck than I think Tesla or Rivian could do. So I'd love to hear what you think about this potential partnership. Have we heard anything more? Is there any sort of corroboration of this story, or is it still just rumors? If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And thank you for watching.